Good morning, hello, and welcome to Ask the Accountant, part of the Ask the Accountant Network, a podcast network for accountants and bookkeepers supported by our Patreon community. Speaking of which, we start every show with a shout out to our coolest of cool listeners, who are Paul Whitehouse, Kirsty St. John, Mahul, and Peter Richardson. It is the 18th of May. It is Monday morning at 8:30 in the morning. This is episode 185. And as per usual, I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Aaron Patrick. Aaron, how are you and how was your weekend?
Yeah, good, thank you. Getting over the old Accountex flu, as I'm dubbing it. No, it wasn't because I was karaoke till the early hours on the Wednesday. No, that's not the case. It's obviously a medical condition that's caused my voice to actually
That
far
medical
better now.
condition really hit you hard on Thursday morning for the grid walk part 2.
I mean, until we rolled cameras, and then I was out. I was back to normal thing, and then as soon as the cameras went off, that was it. death cometh to me. Yeah, no, it was a good weekend. To be fair, it was we got a lot of work at the moment that we're trying to get around in the background, so it was good to kind of have that chance just to tick some things off, get things down, get that to-do list down further. What about yourself? Good weekend. Oh, I tell you, a highlight of the weekend though, watching the Nürburgring 24 hours, and get this, sin of all sins, I was supporting Max Verstappen.
Well, if anyone wants to apply for the Ask the Accountant co-host spot, applications can be sent to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, because someone's about to get removed. I mean, I've done some things in my time, but supporting Max Verstappen.
It was good. Christ. It was that fairy tale moment, wasn't it, where he could have won it, but no, he didn't win it. But that was good though. I love a good 24-hour race every now and again, and Nürburgring is kind of nostalgia for me because it brings me back to the old being a kid driving around on Project Gotham Racing and all those sort of things, and I used to know the Nürburgring inside out, so that was good fun. What about yourself?
I didn't really do much. I did a lot of sleeping. I kept having to wake up from naps on the sofa whilst watching TV. I think I might have. Yeah, I think the last few weeks are starting to catch up on me, and I'm away again this week to Reading. So, yeah, it was a chilled weekend with a much needed break. So, yeah, all good and plenty of sleep and R&R basically for me. But yeah, I mean, was it 1:30 Friday morning? I got home from Accountex, and then I had a full day of meetings on Friday. So busy, but all good stuff. And as always, we are nothing if we're not here for our community who interact and speak to us every Monday morning live on the show. So if you're watching us live, don't forget you can say hello and ask your questions in the comments. So we will go through that quickly. The coveted 8:30 spot this morning went to Kirsty St. John. Good morning, everyone, from a sunny Cambridgeshire. Cheryl says, good morning from a sunny South Yorkshire. Hope those of you that went to Accountex found it valuable. We'll come on to that, but we certainly did. Juliet says, good morning all. Bookkeeper superhero Natasha says, morning all. Paul says, morning all. And for the sake of Paul, based on some feedback I got, I can confirm out the window the weather report is overcast with some blue sky.
That's why
apparently Paul misses the Edinburgh forecast, the Edinburgh weather report since I've moved out of my shed.
Yeah, well, it was you. To be fair, you didn't need to say anything. We could watch it from our own comfort, our own zone. So, I mean, I've ruined it for everyone because I'm now in Leeds, not Derby. So, yeah, it's overcast here. I couldn't tell you what
Leeds
it
weather.
was dark. It was dark when I left Derby, so I can't remember what it was like.
Susanna says, good morning. Morning, Susanna. Alexis, sorry. Kirsty, I'm jealous. It's pouring with rain here. Morning, all. Stephanie says, morning, Jen, aka Gents. Oh, they're pouring in now. This is what we get with the live community. Susie, bookkeeping says, morning, all from beautiful sunny Henley. Lovely. Greg says, morning from rainy Sydney. International. There's not a small village in in the UK called Sydney, is there?
Don't know. Don't
Have
know.
we got an international listener? Oh my God.
What time is it in Sydney? Is it sociable hours?
What is it? About 8:30 at night? Greg, let us know what time it is in Sydney. And thank
He's
you for
like,
joining us.
yeah, it's 20 to 9. Why?
Paul Ingram says, morning from cloudy Salisbury. Was sunny earlier. Suzanne Susie, bookkeeping. Matt Verstappen is a brilliant driver, in my opinion. Where's the banned button? Can we block her? We don't want your sort around here, supporting fans like that, racing drivers like him. Morning from Lisa. Good morning, everyone from Nicola. Amy Hancock, good morning from sunny Dunstable. Steph says that must be treason. I agree, Steph. It is despicable. We'll put him on public trial later for full flogging. Ames GB Accountants Peter says morning from sunny Coventry. Greg says it's 5:36. I'm going to assume that's PM, not AM.
Yeah, it must be. Must be.
Abul sends a thumbs up. Morning, Abul. And Karen says, walking the dogs in light rain in Devon. Lovely. Wow. Loads of comments this morning. You can tell we've been at a live show and done lots of podcasting there. So, obviously, first conversation we need to have while Aaron takes a break from his man flu is a Countex recap. What an event. I mean, from so many angles. It felt busier than ever. Yeah, it felt really busy at Countex. I couldn't get off the tax calc engager stand all day. It was mental. So last year, the tax calc engager team on that stand, the year when we made the big announcement, a year, that we were joining teams, we scanned over 500 badges, and we thought that was quite good. This year, we scanned over 1,000 badges. It was so busy, so busy. But yeah, it was great to say hello to everyone. Great to lots of selfies, blah blah blah. Yeah, a fantastic 2-day event as per usual. Caroline and her team absolutely smashed it. Well organized, etc. Aaron, your thoughts?
Yeah, what an event. What an event. I mean, it'll always be known as the event that I got myself a Vinny. So, finally. How many times do you reckon on the grid walk do you think I've asked Stu for a Vinny?
I mean, you've got one now, right?
I've got one now, but how many times do you think, if you put a number on it, because I'm going to go back and I'm going to find out. Yeah, exactly. But now, finally got myself a Vinny. So, no, it was, what a couple of days. We're lucky enough because we get to go that day zero, don't we? And kind of lay the land, see what it's like, go behind the scenes a little bit. I got there super early this time, so did you. And we set up and everything else. We did our Cool Friends episodes. We've got 3 of them lined up.
3 very cool episodes. I really enjoyed filming those.
Yeah. At the Fox of all places, so you might be able to recognise the backdrop. Do let us know what the quality of sound and all that sort of stuff is, because we're still learning post Brewdog podcasting studios, aren't we? So we're still trying to figure out exactly how that kind of goes. But they were some really cool episodes. Really looking forward to them go out. Then we had the whole set up and get everything on. We brought some new tech to Accountex this year, where we had this fancy little system where it was auto switching the cameras and recording at the same time. The idea is we've got an opportunity to get the podcast pit stops out earlier than ever, which I think will benefit everybody, because we had some really good pit stops this time around. So I'm looking forward to getting them out. And that day zero as well, we went for a nice little meal. Thanks to the wonderful people at Tactical and Engager, which you didn't turn up to your own meal, which I thought was a bit odd.
We only had so many seats, and we always over invite, thinking not everyone's going to say yes, but more people said yes than no. So I said it's more important that our customers and our, are sat at that table than it is for me, which meant I could go to bed at 10 o'clock at night. Like literally, Andy Wainwright rang me about 10 to 10 at night. I was already in bed and asleep. Like my 4:45 a.m. alarm clock had hit me hard.
Yeah.
So I was quite pleased to get bumped from the table and to leave you guys to it.
It was a good night though. Good night.
Yeah.
We were actually next to the Accountex crew. So we had a little area behind a curtain, and then outside the curtain in the main restaurant was a rowdy group. Caroline and her team were cheering and all sorts, so that was good. And you knew then from that moment on it was going to be a good Accountex, right? Like the crew were in good spirits. The Engage a lot were nice and merry, so it was good to go. The Engager and Tax Cat lot were nice and merry, so it was good to go from there. And then Accountex itself, we had a bit of a different approach to ours. So we came in on the Elizabeth line, me and Lizzie did. Kind of came in nice and early. We got a grid walk done, 2 grid walks. And yeah, it was just absolutely, you blinked your eye and it was over sort of scenario, wasn't it? It was absolutely crazy. It was just so busy. It had to be more people there. That first night we did the after party as well. So we went to the Adfin and Engager pizza bus. That was amazing. That was really, really tasty and really good.
I've heard feedback it was the best party of the lot.
Was that popular?
Yeah. Survival of fittest for the pizza.
Yes, survival of it, and just to be in the room, right? Because it were like sardines in there. It was great. Good conversations happening, good laugh and all that sort of stuff. And
QuickBooks had the Fox for the first time.
We went for a karaoke on that. Yeah. Yep. Probably best not talking about how that went, because I did nip in. Not as busy as it's been in past years. Let's just put it that way. But I'm sure it was because of timing that I went there and stuff. I got about 8:30. I don't know if anyone else from the chat were there any other times, but when we went, it wasn't as busy as previous years. But yeah, and we went.
I've always avoided the Fox. Right, I've always wanted to avoid the Fox on an after party because it's normally like I'll go and get a round of drinks in. 45 minutes later, you get back because it's that busy at the bar. But you were saying that wasn't an issue this year.
Not when I arrived. No, maybe it was way busy before I got there. But when I got there, it was much more civilized, and there was a lot more opportunities to. I mean, you could talk at the bar. That's because I just propped myself against the bar and it's like, oh, let's talk to everyone here. Then there was a bit of karaoke, and then we're on to the next day. Another great grid walk and everything else. I would say actually, just on the after parties, one of the nicest things was having the FD lot there, because obviously there was a whole different crowd, wasn't there? Because we had the FD show there as well. Because I did my customary if I don't know someone before, I've never met them, I always ask them, are they green or blue? And they were like, what are you on about? What's this software called Zero? What's that? I was like, that's one that can't reconcile. You want the good software like QuickBooks. But yeah, no, it was good to have those guys there, because it just added a whole new dimension to it, right? There was a whole group of people we never spoke to before. So it's good to kind of mingle with those people. I found them quite selly though. Everyone I spoke to was like, yeah, so who does your pensions and who does your IFA work? Okay, I see where we're going here. But it's good to see them all, good to speak to them, good to have that chat. But surely they beat that, because they were there and they want to try and beat last year's numbers. Just with the FD lot alone, you'd have thought they'd have beat those numbers.
Yeah, I feel confident that they surpassed their 14,000 from last year. We've not heard anything for numbers, but I can't believe that they haven't done well. Am I still there?
No, I think it was a me problem because I'm not in not in my normal setup. But carry on.
Yeah, so no, I think numbers wise, I think Accountex team delivered. Right, let's go through the comments quickly though. So Kirsty's confirmed it is 5 p.m. in Australia. Cheryl says, I was disappointed to find Apron's William AI isn't available for practices, so we can't trial it before recommending it to clients. I found that this weekend. Having said that, it didn't stop me. We'll come on to that in a moment, though, because that is one of our topics for today. Suzanne is trying to redeem favour and stay unblocked for now by saying Norris is my favourite. I just think Verstappen is a driver in the Schumacher mould. Yeah, fair enough. You're redeemed. You've got a strike back.
Now I feel even more guilty for supporting him join the Nürburgring.
Paul says the raised platforms still caught me out a few times. Yeah, although it was nice to see Sage, which was on a raised platform, they built in ramps for people to go up if they wanted to with wheelchairs, walking sticks and stuff. I thought that was very nicely thought out. Amy says she had to beg Stu for that Vinny for you. And Kirsty's got her Vinny as well. Sue Green says, good morning, back to being later at 8:42. I mean, you know, she was on time last week. It's because she was in the shower using her phone.
TMO.
Yeah.
TMO. Although, did Sue go to Accountex? This is the problem with Accountex, right? It's so big that there's a lot of people there that told me they were there.
Sue was definitely there. I saw her on day 2. Had a good chat with Sue. Yeah, because so when I was in Spain, there was a speaker called Nigel Reisner. Absolutely fantastic speaker. One of the best speakers, funniest speakers I've seen in a very long time, and I see a lot of speakers. Turned out he had a speaking slot at Accountex. I didn't even know he was going.
No way.
So if anyone got to see him, I'm sure you had an absolutely brilliant session.
What stage was it? Do you know?
I think it was stage 9 in the end. I'm sure that's the picture I saw.
Is that like the FD one? Is that down the FD area, or is that?
No, in the
Accountex.
Because the FD was like 1 to 3 or 1 and 2 even.
Oh, sorry, I got the numbers all the way around. Yeah. All right, cool.
Tim says good morning. Well, he says morning. Sue, morning guys. Great Accountex. It was a phenomenal Accountex. Steph said we did the Euler Bar, which was the vinyl party, and the Pizza Bus, which was the Engager Tax Calc admin party, and avoided the Fox. Tim says the Fox treated everyone to Aaron's face all over the TV screens. That could be why the numbers were low.
Yeah, I mean, it was good to see though. It was good to see that. It was good to see because that's one thing that the others have never really done is branded it right. Like you kind of go in there and you almost forget who's the.
What's the point of branding it right if you can't fill it?
But I think it was full before and after. I think it was just the time I went there.
In previous years, it's been full all night.
Oh, I know. Like, I wonder if that's the time of the
sign of the times.
Yeah, thank you. Because a lot of people I'm talking to at the moment have just gone off drinking altogether, haven't they? And they just don't want that. I think they just want to. I generally feel like that whole vibe. There's less and less of us who crave going out afterwards, don't we?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't crave it. I like. It's just more than anything.
Destroy your voice doing it.
Yeah, but it's just it's either that or just go home and work, or go back to the hotel and work, isn't it? So I do get it. I get it from both sides. But a lot of people I was speaking to, they were like, "Yeah, no, couldn't think of anything worse," they're telling me, than going out afterwards on Accountex and everything else. They just want to go home and chill out, I suppose, isn't it? So
it is a long day.
Like, that's a shame, though, isn't it? If they do lose that, because like we always said, that's how we started this thing, was those chances and those opportunities at the Fox. If you were still in your mindset, I'm never going to the Fox again, we may never be able to create this podcast, right?
Yeah, but we'd go somewhere. We do like we did other events and stuff.
Yeah,
we didn't go to bed. So, but yeah. Catherine says, "Morning, everyone. Catherine, I hope you're feeling better. She couldn't make it to Accountex for her podcast pit stop due to having a migraine, but we hope she is feeling better.
Hope you get better.
Alexis says we got to the Fox around 10 p.m. Busy, but not too busy. It was just right. Nicholas says the band were really good at the Fox, and it was nice being able to get to the bar easily this year.
It was nice not having tokens, because it's always been tokens, hasn't it? Which has always made me laugh, because you'd get like your amount of tokens at the beginning, and then as long as you knew the right people to talk to, you'd always have unlimited tokens during the day anyway. But it was so much easier just to turn up and be like, right, here we go. here's the chance to get your just go to the bar and just get what you want as well. So yeah, that was a nice to have.
Catherine says, I can't believe that Caroline is rowdy. Definitely. Paul says, perhaps it's less of a party vibe and more of a chat and chill. QuickBooks love a live band and make the events more like a rave. Yep. And Karen says, I won a Vinny on the Accountants Therapy Christmas quiz.
Well done.
See, these are all different ways to get one without having to beg for one, Aaron.
I didn't even, I did beg. I begged, but in the end, I didn't even have that satisfaction of being given the Vinny. I had to get people going get it for me. It was quite embarrassing, really.
And Steph Marshall says, is this where I brag that I have 2 Vinnies? I mean, free agent might come and repossess one of those.
Yeah, they're scarce.
One per person. There's a very limited amount of them. Cool. Okay. So, overall, a fantastic event. Always great to network and say hello to everybody, and for everyone to come up and say hello. So yeah, absolutely great event. Right. Next point of top conversation, which, we spoke a lot of AI stuff at Accountex, and Anthropic, aka Claude, have announced a small business. What is it? A plugin? Like, you've done a lot more research on this than I have so far. What is it?
A skill, which is their term for basically the way in which it can learn what to do things, right? So it's a bit of
so it's mindset.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. It's one of those things where you have to do a bit of a slash SMB forwards, a hyphen onboarding. So you have to do a little bit of to activate it, which I'm sure is because it's in early stages, and at some point there'll be it's fancy UI for it or something. Currently, I don't know if it's not available in the UK, but I've not found many people in the UK being able to use it. But I've been doing my whole jumping on the YouTube bandwagon, watching people play around with it and everything else and all that sort of stuff. One thing it's definitely done is completely opened up the world of, so it's QuickBooks that they're really pushing on this one, compared to that other one. What's it called? Xero, I think some people call it. There's this other software out there that people would call it. Anyway, the good one got first dibs on this one. But yeah, no, QuickBooks is what they're really pushing it. They're pushing it with QuickBooks and HubSpot. So for me, I'm definitely interested. And PayPal, of all things, is like their third one. Okay. And their idea is that you kind of bring these ecosystems together, and then Claude sits in the middle and then has the opportunity to jump between them. But what was really interesting was seeing how it was able to open up the capability of what QuickBooks can do. So now it'll allow you to add transactions. It'll allow you to bring in transaction at a lower level. Because I don't know if you've seen kind of the criticism of what these connectors on both QuickBooks and Xero can do at the moment, but they can only go like top level. So if you ask for a profit and loss account, for example, it can tell you the top line of entertainment, for example, but it doesn't know what makes up that figure, right? It can't go into the weeds of it. It can't go into the individual transactions. It doesn't have that capability at this point. But this small business one is definitely showcasing how already they're able to go in and look at it. Now, this is definitely designed for the end user as opposed to the accountant, because you can have all of those issues we talked about before where, jumping between clients is going to be frustrating. I suppose less so on the Zero world because you can connect one and kind of feed down, can't you? But your point you made last week, where it's going to probably reference data from one client and it's going to cross.
Yeah, you need to make sure you're having incognito conversations each time to make sure there is no crossover. But then the downside of that is it doesn't have any reference of previous conversations you've had about that one business.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very powerful for me to run on one in my firm. It's going to be very powerful for you to run on your firm.
Yeah.
But as accountants and bookkeepers, we aren't going to be able to use it very well on our clients.
And when you have multiple firms,
it becomes even multiple firms are going to be a headache.
Yeah. So, which is kind of you can see why. Like they're aiming this at the end user anyway, and you can understand why. Some really cool scenarios I've seen on YouTube where it's like, make sure you can afford your pay run this month by looking at both payroll and things like that, and go through from there. But honestly, has that brain. And what I did like as well, near enough in each kind of scenario, even in the Anthroptics like videos and the Claude videos that they've done, it's like, go question X, Y, Z. Okay, now you got that answer. Use that data to go to your accountant and figure out exactly, what that means and give some context and everything else. So it was one of those like early warning systems. It was trying to kind of like tell you that it could be able to do. It's kind of giving context as to why, why you might have had a spike in sales, but that's because your CRM, you've obviously done a really good, it's all that sort of in connecting of that data sources, right? And trying to figure out why there's like trends in one and trends in the other and trying to match them together, which what AI is beautiful at, isn't it? It's like looking at that big data set and trying to spot things that, we could spot, but we're going to have to spend X amount of time to get us there, right? And this is about being able to kind of set it to automatically go there. So from what I can see, really, really impressive. It kind of shows what this whole partnership thing is all about. Like, this isn't just skin deep. This is like proper, like going into the weeds, trying to figure out exactly what it is, trying to kind of go through all of those elements of it. And I'm really kind of impressed at where this kind of concept's going. I wonder if this is going to be like a whole new price point maybe, or if it's going to be a UI, or like what's the end goal of this? Like, is there like a Claude for business, a small business kind of own app or something that it's trying to get to? I don't know. But based on what I've seen so far, really, really like it. Loving the fact that they've kind of got those big boys on board straight away to kind of show you what it can do, show you what it can be from there.
And I think it's interesting that I've chatted to a lot of people at Accountex who have AI in their products and stuff, and they are they completely get why Claude, Xero, and QuickBooks are focusing this on the end user, the small business. Yeah. Because small business owners are a lot more, they're security conscious, but they're a lot more, it's their data, so they're not too worried. Whereas accountants and bookkeepers are a real slow, hard burn to try and get them to sign up to softwares with AI, because we're aware it's not our data, it's our client's data, and we're ultra cautious. So for them to get traction, they have to go to the end user. But I don't see that as I don't see it as a threat. Like, it's the same as Xero and QuickBooks having dashboards that our clients can see. Like, it's a prompt. It's an ability to give a small business owner a better financial understanding of their business and its performance. So as long as it's then going, you need to go and speak to your accountant about this or your bookkeeper about this, then I think it's something we should be encouraging. Yes, we need to go, look, make sure you're using the right package of Claude or ChatGPT and you're getting the right security with your data. But this is a good tool that might actually strip out some of the more basic questions that we're answering and allow us to spend our time on the higher value stuff. So I think as an industry, we do need to be pro this. Otherwise, we are just going to be made redundant. Like, people are just going to go, oh, my accountant doesn't trust AI. I do. I either need an accountant that does, or actually I'll just do this on my own. And we don't want those results. What we want is them to be informed, educated on their systems and processes and their data, and to still come to us for the higher value conversations. Like, we all love that we don't have to sit there and manually type in all the receipts anymore. And that's allowed us to spend time having more quality, high value conversations. And this is a tool that's going to let us do that again. And yeah, there's still a lot of people that are very worried about AI. I don't think we need to be worried about it. I think we just need to go, right, we've got this new tool. How do we build it into our workflows? How do we build it into our conversations with our clients to adopt it and use it and be pro these things?
Yeah, and I think because I don't know if you've seen in the news as well. There's been a big thing about ChatGPT now getting access to bank accounts. It's like this new connector that they've brought in. It's states only at the moment, so
Yeah.
we can't utilize it at this point in time. But a lot of people are like, oh, again, this is the end of accountants because ChatGPT is just going to do it for you, blah blah blah. You know, the normal naysayers have gone and jumped on the bandwagon, etc. But actually, in isolation, okay, have a bit of a look at your cash flow, maybe see some trends or something. Cool, right, whatever. But it's these connectors to the broader world, and like this whole idea of this small business, like idea with that Claude's putting together. You can see a world where, well, if it can see the bank account and it can see QuickBooks / especially in Zero world, right? Like this could be huge because then it can go, oh, your bank isn't reconciled. Like, whoa, before we go any further, let's get the basics right. Let's get the basics. Like you were saying there, like as accountants and bookkeepers, we shouldn't be there to hold their hand and get them through reconcile a bank, right? Like we should have that as a bare minimum. Like that's our standard we need before we can start filing back returns or whatever the compliance work we're going to do for them. And if you've got a world where Claude can go to the client and say, just so you're aware, your bank isn't reconciled. Let's figure out what the problems are. Let's work this through. Let's work this together and go from there. And it at some point, it's going to be clever enough to go, you remember it was reconciled like 2 weeks ago? Well, that's because you've changed this figure here, which is now blown it out, right? And I know inside the world of Intuit Assist, it can do that for you now, but you've got to prompt it to do it because QuickBooks, Jax, all of them are working on prompts, aren't they? They're like, let the user tell us. We don't want to automate him. We don't want to upset the partnerships we have with accountants. And they're almost like hamstrung to how far they can take their own LML, the models. Where Claude clearly doesn't. And why should it, right? It's got no existing partnerships to worry about and relationships and everything else. It's got its own path to build. And it's able to do that. And that's where it gets me excited that imagine every client you have has his dashboard set up by Claude or whoever. And like you said, it's doing those little things for you. It's making sure that it's bank records. Like you should then be presented with data that you can trust and rely on.
Yeah.
And we don't have to have third parties to check it, then go back to the client, then come back and have all those workflows and everything else. There might be a world where we can kind of get access to that dashboard. They can give us access to it and we can go, yep, thumbs up, we're good to go on here. And we get all that enriched data, not just about their FMS solution or bookkeeping solution, whatever you want to call it, but also on their CRM solution and their project tool solution or whatever else they connect to it, right? To me, that's where I get excited too. So yeah, I fully understand why it's just client focused at the moment. But I think at some point, if they can kind of work a way that as an accountant, you can connect to your client's Claude, that to me is where that business advisory just becomes an amazing opportunity for everyone.
Yeah, no, definitely agree. Well, speaking of AI, Apron has some more updates for us. So first update that's not live yet, but it's coming live. Is it end of this month? I think they said, is their integration with Free Agent. So those that have been using Apron for their document capture and have not been able to do it for their Free Agent customers, you will soon be able to do that. That integration is going live in a matter of days or weeks, which is very exciting because that means I can drop another document processing tool completely now.
Vinny approves of this, just so
Vinny approves.
Every so often, we're just going to go back to Vinny, just make sure he's happy with it now that we have Vinny in our profile.
But at least you stopped going on about Las Vegas.
What? Sorry? It's all about where Vinny's gone. Vinny didn't go to Las Vegas.
But more importantly, what is live now is William AI, which is Apron's AI tool that initially, my understanding was this would your client could come in, connect their emails to a connector in Apron, and Apron would go through and pull out any invoices and stuff. But actually, it's so much more than that. The main bit being auto publishing of documents. Now, this isn't available for your practices at the moment. It's just for your clients, which Cheryl pointed out. Now, I've already gone through and turned it on for all my clients. Like, I went through Friday morning and turned it on for all my clients that are on Apron, because this was the feature that we have been waiting for. Like, this is the time-saving data feature that, for months and months, well, years now, we've been using Apron. It's been categorizing everything fine, and we have to press publish and stuff. But now, auto publish is incredible. And they've got the stats, which shows that how many documents were manually published, how many were auto published in the last month and versus the month before. And so you can see improvement on your stats and stuff. I love that insight. So yeah, the auto publish part, actually, in my view, is far more important than the connecting to a client's email address and pulling invoices from that. Because if your inbox is anything like mine, you have been a naughty boy and put in one email address to multiple softwares that actually have invoices for different businesses, but they all go into one inbox because that's the inbox I live in. So yeah, auto publish. I'm so excited to have that turned on. Yeah, your thoughts on that news, Aaron?
Yeah, it's great news, isn't it? It is strange why, as the firm wide, we can't get access to, again, just trial it and play with it and just get comfortable with it. Like you said, if you do it for your own practice, you can kind of quickly see. I think as accountants and bookkeepers, we've got to get more used to this. I keep seeing and getting as a trainer and done a bit of support in my time, and I'm sure you've seen this, and you're obviously not allowed to comment because it's probably a bit too, what do you call it? But sometimes I do get frustrated that we don't just go and just set up a demo client or demo company and just play. Like, a lot of them is trial and error, isn't it?
Oh no. So the beauty of Free Agent is they've got a demo account.
Yeah.
I think they've got two, actually.
Yeah.
And they're available on the APIs. So you can connect Apron to a trial account, a demo account with Apron. I don't think you can do that with Xero or Free Agent, can you? Sorry, Free Agent. Sorry, Xero or QuickBooks. No.
No, there's a sandbox, isn't there, on both of those? So you could play around with the sandbox and in fairness, in QuickBooks you do have that free version, and you do in Xero, don't you? That free version that you have that you're supposed to use for your firm is what it's designed for, isn't it? Yeah. But most people, they have their own firm set up elsewhere, and you can just add that and off to the races you go, right? Yeah. So I would imagine that, that you could use those, but either way, like, for all of these softwares, just set yourself up a demo, whatever, and just have a play, right? Like, I know it's going to cost you X amount per month, whatever. But a lot of these times, it's it's just you seeing that user interface, just you playing it. It's like the same with me. I've got, how many bank accounts have I got now with different types of banks? Like, I literally went on every single bank I can think of and signed up to it so that I can see what their experience is, and if there is a query.
You are a money laundering nightmare for a bank now, because they're all like, how many bank? This is unreasonable. What are you playing at here? What are you trying to hide?
Which is probably why I have so many problems opening bank accounts these days. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably.
I've seen your credit report, sir. I don't think you need another bank account.
But just, I feel like that's one thing that we forget is in our arsenal, is just have a play, like have a trial, and in something like this, it's definitely worthwhile turning that bit on, and kind of seeing that aspect of it and putting that aspect in and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I think it's worth it. And then you can see what the UI is going to be like for the client, how that's going to work for them, how trustworthy or not trustworthy, like the auto publishing is going to be, and everything else. So, go from there. I would say, though, back to our previous topic, this is where I do feel so. I think Apron and William AI are going to be fine. I think they're in their own ecosystem is absolutely fine. But this Claude small business, that's the sort of things that we talk about Sherlocking a lot, don't we? Like that is the sort of thing where a lot of solutions out there, a lot of things we've seen could easily be Sherlocked by this new, mammoth of a solution that can come out there. And that's where kind of we've got to be a bit wary of these solutions going forward, haven't we?
Yeah. And so we'll go through the comments in a moment, because there's quite a few comments coming on this, especially around auto publishing. But the reason, and people were saying how basically they're all saying they're nervous about auto publish. So William verify. I'm reading this from the Apron website itself. I'm just logged in. William verifies before auto publishing. Fields check before anything leaves the inbox. William never guesses. When William isn't confident, it's held for review. So it's got to be 100% confident before it does anything with it. So as an example, I've had an invoice, 2 invoices from the same supplier. One went through fine. The other one got held back because there was a mark next to the name, which made William think, oh, is that a bit of text? Is it the same name? So it held it back for review. So yeah, so far I've not got any issues with William auto publishing.
Just on this though, and am I being super naive here? But isn't this just a case where we've just got to change our workflow slightly? Because from what I've seen in the UI and workflow and everything else, it's really easy to know which ones have been auto published. Like it's really obvious to know that. And this is this Apron, right? They will build you something like that if you ask them to. Right? If you put a request in, and isn't our workflow? Shouldn't it be right before we go and clear the inbox that's ready to go? That again, like you've just said, that it hasn't guessed on and it's not ready to go. Isn't our workflow just to scan down and do a sense check on what has been auto published? Because let's be honest, like if something's been auto published, it might be slightly wrong. It's not going to be the end of the world as long as it's got someone like ourselves adding value to check it, to go through it, and everything else. Do you know what I mean? Like, isn't that part of our job anyway? Because it's just the same if the clients post it by themselves. We got to go through and we've got to be sensible and check that they've done things right and everything else. It's exactly the same concept. It's just that it's been automated and AI has put it in. So I don't know. I get that people are like, oh, what about the percentages and all this and everything else? But maybe, I mean, again, back to being naive, maybe it's exactly the right phrase. But to me, we've dealt with this since day one. We've always had to have our sense check on and just make sure it's gone through right.
Yeah, I mean, when they've auto-published, because in the inbox, in publish, there's a big blue circle, like a notification thing, and you go in and you can see all the ones that have been published manually or auto-published, and it tells you, and then it gives you all the details. So, yeah, and I'm just looking at these ones. These are all ones that have been, this customer has had this supplier like 5-6 times a week of invoices. So there is 100% confidence there. But yeah, and it's held back since those ones. Yeah, it's held back other ones where it's not confident, it's not sure. Like there's one here where the VAT doesn't look right, and it's because there's a split between 3 different VAT brackets, so it's kind of held it back. So yeah, and looking at it, it's a penny off. Like the supplier has invoiced a penny less VAT than perhaps we would have expected.
Which isn't the end of the world, right? Like
it's gone. I'm not sure. I won't publish.
The only thing I would, my only request, and like people at Apron are the ones who can implement this, is the only thing I would love to see in something like this is that you've got auto publish as one UI, whatever that UI is. You said it's nice blue thing or whatever it is, right? But maybe this needs to be one that's like verified by accountant/bookkeeper or whatever that one is.
You've got the manual published.
No, I'm saying like if they've already put it in there, because it's great that it's done its job, but as accountant bookkeeper would go in and would just do a sense check and everything like you've just done there, it's penny out.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great though if you could go in, maybe adjust it slightly or make the adjustment or whatever you need to do? That one can turn to verified by accountant/bookkeeper.
Well, it would be marked as manually published, so the accountant bookkeeper's been involved.
No. But what I'm saying is, then the the thing can then learn more, and it should prioritize anything that's been taught by. And okay, you know what I mean? Like that's one thing that, and I've been banging on about this to Intuit, like this firm-wide intelligence idea. Like that's what we should be adding value to as accountants and bookkeepers.
In William, there is a tab called Teach William.
Yeah.
So you can teach it supplier rules, category rules, tax rules, and general rules. So, for example, for Xero, publish as bill, set as awaiting payment, and apply VAT rate of 0 expenses for documents with no tax. Like you can add as many types of rules as you like in natural language, which is quite cool. But yeah, right. Let's go through the comments anyway. So Catherine Freeman said, Hannah Fry did a great piece on AI agents accessing bank accounts. Might need to look that one up. Morning all from JP Blackmore. Great to see Vinny made his way to you. Nicola is very excited by Apron free agent integration. Catherine says having a child called William means I will never be able to use Apron AI. Oh dear. Steph says I find the accuracy 89%. Nicola, William AI is showing for my practice, but I don't know if it depends on your partner status. I'm on silver as of a week ago. I'm on gold and I can't have it on my practice for some reason. So I need to check with Apron as to what's going on there. Cheryl says you've got to be confident it will analyze it accurately first. Absolutely. I mean, if you think about it though, if you've been using Apron for 2 years, you've been teaching it for 2 years. So Stephanie says because of the 89% part, she doesn't trust the auto publishing.
Again, isn't that a workflow that we just got to have a workflow to check it, right? Like, I don't know. And it's, again, I go back to my point. Like, we let clients post from time to time and we check them to make sure it's accurate, right? When you first bring a junior onto your firm, you don't just go, well, I'm never going to let you post anything. You know, you're going to check everything through me first. No, we put workflows in place, don't we, to check these things out. And it's the same principle. Yeah.
So it's like when I used to do, when I used to work in industry back in the day, like you didn't check every single line of the stock take. You would check, so like 10% of the lines. And if there's no issues, you'd sign it off. If there was issues in a large percentage of it, then you'd have an issue. If there was errors in a small percentage, you'd do a further check. Like, yeah, you don't need to check every single one, but it's always good to do spot checks. Paul Whitehouse says auto publish always makes me nervous, generally because a lot of clients don't know what to upload. I've seen statements, order forms, income spreadsheets, leaflets, and pictures of their dog in Apron. But William AI is trained to deal with all of that. It's trained to filter all of that out for you. Like, I can already see it's filtered out statements for this client that they've uploaded. So, yeah. I think we as an industry need to remember that these software providers aren't just launching anything for the sake of launching it. They have thought this all through and they understand the data they've got. They've got more data than any of our firms could ever wish for because they've got all of the firm's data from every firm. Catherine says briefcase do the same with auto publish. Yeah, so does Dext and auto entry. So it's a popular feature that has been missed in Apron. So I'm pleased to see it there. Cheryl, my biggest client, an invoice could go 4 or 5 different nominals. AI has no chance of getting it right. And that's fine. It won't auto-publish it. AI won't, like, it just won't know. It'll know you apply different categories, so it'll just leave it for manual, like Booker invoices. This client has got Booker invoices. It's not published them because it knows that there's normally more than one category. Dave, good to see you, Dave. Honestly, I've never really understood the hype around auto-publish. We're talking about them. The most time saving for something that then introduces risk. That's not to say I don't use it. Yeah, I agree. But are we not at that point now where now AI's come in, we're now back to, right, actually, how could AI save us 15 minutes, an hour on this stuff? Whereas up until the last couple of years where AI came in, we were down to, right, How do we save a few minutes off every task for that to build up to big time saving over a year? Cheryl says, also, I need to add a project. I need to add as a draft bill anyway, and then add the project in Xero. That's fine. In this case, Cheryl, then auto publish won't work, but for simpler clients, it will. Like, no feature is ever going to work ideally for every client, and we can't hold a software to ransom because it doesn't work for one of our clients out of however many, unless you're in a niche, and that's what all your clients are doing. Then it just won't work for your firm. Dave says, what's more important is just that the product is more accurate as a whole, faster workflow. For example, I don't love that Apron have now added an extra click to add supplier rules, but they've made their new probabilistic AI, Gen AI guidance the default. That makes no sense to me. Yeah, so it's all about, as you said, Aaron, it's about workflows and making them as efficient as possible. If auto publish helps enhance that, great. If it doesn't, then yeah. Like, there's a reason I pulled out of QuickBooks. The UI I don't think was as efficient as the previous UI, and that's why I got fed up.
But isn't this a case of Apron kind of almost their users would be asking for auto publish because that's what their rivals were doing, right? Like this is, and this is what our same old issue we have with our vendors at the moment. We are like in that drag race, aren't we? In that race of trying to one up each other. I think Dave's spot on. Like, it doesn't make sense that we've now had to take a step back in terms of the overall usability, and that's what Apron were, and they still are, like, absolute kings are. They are the simplicity and straightforwardness. I still wowed that, I've not found a client yet that doesn't just pick up Apron and make and run with it, right? Like, it's just so straightforward to use and everything else. But that being said, I suppose this is them, almost, is it pandering? Is that the right word? Pandering to kind of the requests of the many, and like the few like us, who are low power users, maybe. We kind of don't get the kind of rub of the green sometimes because it's, it's designed for X, Y, Z, and that's all based on clicks and everything else and heat maps and all that sort of stuff that more than I do, right? But that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's we may think it's useful, and I know why you're saying what you're saying about Intuit and everything else, but that was based on science and heat maps and all that sort of stuff. And it doesn't work for you, and that's fine. But they've gone that route because they believe that it's because
data says,
exactly, right. And right or wrong, that's what they've based it on. I think that's what's happened here, isn't it? Where Apron, they needed to implement this feature to become feature parity, but it's not going to please everyone, right?
Yeah, exactly. Paul Ingram says, good news on Apron Free Agent. Can't be seen enough. Completely agree. Alexis says, Cheryl, agreed. I can see how powerful this can be for simplified clients, just not the blanket catch-all. Completely right. Yeah. And, if you've got a load of low value, simple clients, then you want them to be as profitable as possible. So auto publish with AI intelligence behind it is a good thing. Paul Whitehouse said, I also had a great discussion with HMRC about e-invoicing at Accountex. Yeah, that one's sneaking up on us, but we'll deal with MTD it first, shall we? Because the conversations I had at Accountex are with people that still don't know what MTD it requirements are, or they got told about it 5 years ago and haven't realized everything's changed since then. It's scary. Cheryl says, I agree, where a supplier is always the same nominal, but not all clients are like that. No, I completely agree, Cheryl. Catherine loves getting dog pictures sent through Apron. And Cheryl says, auto-publish has been available for ages in Apron. A version of it has, but this is far more powerful. And seeing the analytics now to tell me which one's been, like, that UI is really informative. So that's good. Right, we are running out of time, Aaron. So we're going to move on from this topic. I wasn't expecting Apron's auto-publish to be so conversational, but it's always good to have everyone's opinion on that. Just a token mention to Adfin to congratulate them on their latest funding round. Adfin, if you don't know, have now raised a further £18 million to help them achieve what they're planning to achieve with their product. That's a total of £30 million they've raised so far in funding, which is incredible. So I had a really good chat with Tom and Sip from Adfin at Accountex about what their plans are and stuff. I can't share those plans, but there's some interesting stuff that they've got coming, and they want to look at to help improve cash flow in our businesses, basically, which is all very cool. Anything you want to add to that Adfin part?
No, just really excited. And if you haven't, go and have a look at their new logo. Apparently, there's a story behind it, and we have been saying, is there any chance we can do a podcast on that story? So watch this space. Yep. We'll see if we can pull that off.
Absolutely. And then MTD Therapy. I believe you are doing a session with MTD Therapy coming up.
Yeah, this is a really cool idea by them. So they're bringing out a MTD Marathon Live on the 22nd of May 2026, all day 9 till 5. There's like drop-in sessions throughout the whole thing. The idea is that this is supposed to be a day that if you haven't already signed up all your clients, then let's do it all together, and we all kind of do a shared thing where we all put together signing up your MTD clients and everything else, which, if anything, shows how that whole signing up process hasn't been optimized yet. That we have to take a whole day out of our thing, but I'll keep my cynical hat to one side for now. From there, but no, it should be good. I partner with Amy, I believe, Copeland, around about the 12 o'clock dinner time slot, something around that, which is just after HMRC's one, so really excited for it. Yeah, but I just thought it'd be a nice little plug. I think let's show our support, get ourselves over there on the 22nd of May.
Fantastic. If you don't know about MTD yet, then you will after that. Brilliant. Aaron, what have you got going on this week before we sign off and start the week?
I'm in Leeds at the start, so looking forward to kind of going through stuff. We've got like appraisals and all that sort of stuff, and everything else coming through in there. And then just a really, like, every week is busy at the moment, but yeah, it's all good, it's all positive. So just kind of going down that route as well. What about yourself, Jan? Anything exciting coming your end? Is it starting to calm down a little bit?
No.
Like maybe next week.
I'm Reading Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. So bit of time with my ops manager and a bit of time speaking at a event for the business coach I do a lot of speaking for. So yeah, and then I've got, like, today I've got 6 back-to-back new client inquiry bookings. Friday's looking mental as well for new client inquiry bookings. So yeah, it's all really positive, exciting stuff. But add on top of that, we are rather busy over at Engager's stuff as well. We announced the Engager pipeline tool coming out at Accountex.
Looks very
so we've got to get that finished off, finalize testing on that, and get that out. Having said that, having 6 new client inquiry prospecting calls on them today certainly helps us test the deal board out nicely. So yeah, busy week again. I'm looking forward to next week, where I don't think I'm traveling next week. There's speculation I might be down in Wokingham for a podcast recording for Tax Calc, but that might be online as well. So instead, so I am looking forward to getting out there, and yeah, I'd say I'm looking forward to June because it should be quieter, but actually June's absolutely heaving with travel as well. I'm going to spend a long time on planes and trains at this rate. But hey ho, I love it, so I can't complain. We'll quickly shoot through the comments. Marshall says, hello, how often do you guys do these lives? We're live every Monday morning, 8:30 till 9:30 UK time. So feel free to join us. JP Blackmore has confirmed, Aaron, you are partnered with Amy Copeland at 12 p.m. right after HMRC.
Look forward to it.
Paul says, I wanted to get them signed up as this weekend, but the ASA account was down all weekend I think it was down for maintenance. I'm sure I read that in a agent update that it was going to be down for this weekend for maintenance. Yeah, they like to do these things over weekends, thinking none of us work, and but they're sadly misinformed. Suzanne Wellen is also doing an MTD therapy session at 9:30. Karen Waters says accountants therapy, shout out for the MTD therapy.
Vinny approves.
So yeah, fantastic. Right, we will leave you all to have a fantastic week. As always, guys, feel free to join us at 8:30 next Monday. We will be back with all the latest news and insights for the industry. Apparently, I've got a friend. And we'll see you all next week. Thank you very much. That's a goodbye from me.
And a goodbye from me. Bye.